Full on chuck this book at my forehead. That's how intense this reading experience. The police are coming to get me because I like romances now. I am shocked. I was not expecting that, like how horrible it is to die in this book. The delightful little book. You want to say hi to everyone? Not a thought between those eyeballs. Not one, but I love her. I love you. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Peyton and I'm very excited to do this video. So excited to do this video. It's one I've been toying with the idea of doing, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. If you have not seen the amazing Katie Coulson video, BookTube's Best of 2023, stop whatever you're doing and watch that video. You should watch it. It's just a masterclass in editing. It's just so good. She watched thousands, hundreds, thousands BookTube videos about their best books of the year and compiled a list that was 15. And I have the list. I'm going to be reading some books from that list that I haven't read yet. And I'm going to pop up the list right here and talk about some of these books. So the books I chose were I primarily chose books that I hadn't read, and that I owned physically. Most of these I had read this year. I did read Fourth Wing. Highly contentious book. I did really like Fourth Wing, so I'm not surprised it was first. Happy Place, Yellowface, Yours Truly, The 7-Year Slip. I did read The Housemaid. Wasn't a fan. I did read The Only One Left. Wasn't a fan. The books I'm going to be focusing on this list. The books I have physically. Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. This will be my first Brandon Sanderson, and I cannot be more excited because he's an author I've wanted to read for quite a while now. And this will also be my first Emily Henry. This is Happy Place. This is number 2 out of the 15. It's very popular author, very popular book, and I'm actually looking forward to reading this a lot. Then I have Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I think I also saw this last year on, oh my god, why am I blanking? She's one of my favorite booktubers. Allison Pages. She did a video similar to this where she read, was it 2022? And this book was also on that list, but it also ended up on this list, as well as Yours Truly, but I own this as a physical copy and I would like to read it. Yellowface by R. Kwong. These are going to be a lot of firsts. These are these are all first-time author reads for me. I have the audiobook of Project Hail Mary. I think I might get the physical. Or I said I only get books I own. And I want a specific edition. I don't want this one. I want this one. I'm such a brat. Happy Place, Tress the Emerald Sea, Yellowface, Part of Your World, and Project Hail Mary is the TBR for this video. That's a lot of books. That's a lot of books for a vlog. I'm so excited, and these are books I've wanted to read, so what better excuse? And oh my god, it looks so pretty. Hold on, let me show you. Look at this beautiful stack. And we can just pretend that Project Hail Mary is the same color, spine, and like vibe, right?
Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know.
They're never gonna know. I don't know which one to start with. Which one am I in the mood for? Am I in the mood for fantasy? Am I in the mood for science fiction? Am I in the mood for romance? Or I think I'll start with Yellowface, and I'll break up some of the romance books. So I think I'm going to start with Yellowface. From what I've heard, this reads very fast, and it's more of like, it has more of a thriller vibe. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to start with this. I think it's also like on the shorter end, a little bit over 300 pages. I've not read any of these authors yet, so talk about all these synopses as I get to them. But first up is Yellowface. I have a little bit of work to do, and then I'm gonna get into my comfy clothes. I'm gonna sit in my comfy chair and read about some awful people. So I think I owed you all a synopsis and a reading update. I got up to make dinner, but I haven't moved. And I'm like 150 pages in already. It's so engaging and it reads so quickly. I could probably finish this tonight if I stayed up late enough, but I doubt that'll happen because I'm like going to bed early. Anyway, this is really good. I love the writing in this. So fast-paced and so engaging. And oh, I gotta tell you what it's about. So Yellowface follows, at the beginning, 2 writer friends. June Hayward hasn't really had a lot of success. Her first novel was a flop and hasn't really done anything since. And her quote-unquote friend, Athena Liu. Athena is a literary darling. She was successful straight out of college with her first book. She gets advances for books, like 6 figures, lives this very lavish lifestyle, and has just found out that one of her books is going to be adapted by Netflix. So they're out celebrating one night, and it's all written in June's head. You can tell is very envious and jealous of Athena, and they're kind of they're friends, but I think Athena sees them more as friends maybe, and June is just like literally has no one else to talk to or hang out with, and they've just kind of known each other since college. So they're out one night celebrating Athena's big news, and Athena drops dead because she chokes on a pancake. Moments before, they were just talking, her and June, talking about Athena's manuscript that she just finished, sprawling historical fiction. Athena's dead. And June takes it upon herself to take the manuscript and edit it, publish it as her own, and pass it off as her own. That's the start of the book. And it reads so quickly. This main character, being in her head, she's so insufferable, so horrible in her thought process. And this really shows like the dark side of the publishing industry, social media, also deals with cultural appropriation, diversity, and racism, because, oh, spoiler alert, the main character is really racist. And so basically, I'm 120 pages in, like, she's trying to pass off this book as her own. Her publisher think it's going to be a hit, but since she's white, they don't think that she can pass off being the author of this book. And so they change her name, her author's name, to Juniper Song, because song is racially ambiguous. Ugh. And she's just, oh man. And hold on, there's this part I underlined. So her publicity team pitches it as a rebrand because her first book wasn't successful, and she's writing her new author announcement. The Last Front, which is the name of the book she stole, written as Juniper Song, symbolizes a step forward in my creative journey. This is what I love most about writing. It offers us endless opportunities to reinvent ourselves and the stories we tell about ourselves. It lets us acknowledge every aspect of our heritage and history. It then goes on to an internal monologue. I never lied. That's important. I never pretended to be Chinese or made up life experiences that I didn't have. It's not fraud, what we're doing. We're just suggesting the right credentials so the readers take me and my story seriously, so nobody refuses to pick up my work because of some outdated preconceptions about who can write what. And if anyone makes assumptions or connects the dots the wrong way, doesn't that say far more about them than me? Bitch! She's so snarky, and she loves being the victim. It's I deserve this. Athena owes me this. This is my time to shine. I put in the hard work. I edited this. It's just mind-boggling. And it's darkly funny. It's too, and it's just really quick-witted. I really like it a lot so far. I might finish this tonight. I might just go get in bed and just finish this because it really does read. It really does read that quickly. I'm really enjoying it so far. Yeah, by the time I check in, I will probably be done. I stayed up super late and finished Yellowface last night. I still made it to the gym this morning, so I was just really sleepy all day. This was a lot. If I could compare my reading experience to anything, very similar to how I felt when I was watching Uncut Gems for the first time, that I was just anxious and stressed the entire time. And I wanted to know what happened, and I couldn't look away. Same type of deal. It's like watching a car wreck happen in slow motion. Also, I would compare this if someone full on chucked this book at my forehead. That's how intense this reading experience this one. I loved it. I loved it. I don't think it's a perfect 5-star read for me. I would say it's more of a 4.5. I think because of all the buildup of the book, like there's so much buildup and stress, and watching this dumb Delulu white woman just spiral for 300 pages, and then the ending, I don't know, it wasn't the big like theatrical orchestra music ending that I thought it was gonna be. But I still I've read this so fast. I read this book so fast, so it's not that I wasn't fully engaged and entertained the entire time. It was so brilliant and so well crafted and horrific. I think that was the part that really freaked me out, because this isn't a spoiler necessarily. At the acknowledgements, R.F. Kuang writes, she says she wrote Yellowface in a large part is a horror story about loneliness in a fiercely competitive industry. And it did. It read a lot like a high intensity thriller horror, especially towards the end. I kind of wish it had actually turned out that way, or I think it would have been a much more satisfying ending for me, at least. I know the girl who loves horror books wants it to be a horror book. It is. It's just a different type of horror book. By the end of it, you're kind of getting hit over the head with, yes, this person is awful and this person's never gonna learn. And that's kind of why it was so frustrating, and the ending was a little bothersome to me. It's like, okay, we get it. To see basically zero growth throughout the entire novel, it was just like, ugh. Yeah, but I still this was great. I can totally see why this is on people's favorites of the year. I can't wait to read more of her work after this. I can't wait to read her fantasy after reading this. So that's that. Book number 1. And I think I'm gonna read Part of Your World next. I want to break up, because there's 2 romances that I'm reading of this vlog, and I think I want to break it up, this and Happy Place. So I'm gonna read this, then I'm gonna read Tress, and then I'm gonna read Happy Place. Probably end on Project Hail Mary, or I'll swap it with Tress. Whatever. But I'm reading Part of Your World next because this little guy keeps calling to me, and I want to know his story. I'm gonna start this today. I do have my IRL book club tonight, so I don't know how far I'm going to be able to get, but I do want to start it, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm a little nervous because I've heard such amazing things about this, like all of these books, that I'll be let down. I will check in when I've made some progress on this. Hello! I wanted to give a little update on Part of Your World. It's really good. It's really sweet. I'm only 130 pages in, but I wanted to stop and update you all. Well, let me tell you what it's about. Sorry. So it's about the FMC Alexis and the MMC Daniel come from 2 very different worlds. Like, he is a carpenter, works, it's like a very small town, like less than 1,000 people. He's really a caring individual who helps his community, and everyone knows everyone, and he has a baby goat he's taking care of, and this estate that he manages, and he loves this town, he loves what he does, comes across Alexis, who is a doctor in Minneapolis. Hey! I don't know. I didn't know that Abby Jimenez wrote about Minnesota. She's from Minnesota. I know her new book that's coming out is set in Minneapolis. I'm just like, oh yay, cool. She is a ER doctor, part of a very well established line of doctors at this hospital, and it's like part of her legacy to continue being a doctor there, because no one in her family has not been a doctor at this hospital. So she feels a lot of intense pressure, and she just got out of a relationship with another doctor, very much emotionally abusive. Alexis is coming back from a funeral. Her car gets stuck, and while she's waiting for her tow, Daniel drives by with his truck and helps her out. And then they immediately connect later on the night at the local town bar. Or BWF. Then, yeah, he makes her this amazing grilled cheese. They have a one-night stand, but they keep coming back together, and like they just want to keep it light and casual, but you know that there's something more there. And I just love their banter. I love their dialogue. It's written so well. I like both of them so much as characters already. This is why I wanted to take a minute and update you all, because I very much connect with Alexis, because I'm happily married. Now I've been in a very healthy, stable relationship with a wonderful man, Luke. But there was a time years ago before I moved here where I was in a very unhealthy, emotionally abusive relationship that ruined me for a long time. And even like there were like a ripple effect that came into my early relationship with Luke. I don't think it's really talked about a lot. At least the books I've read, maybe this is me not having read a lot of romance. I don't feel like it's a conversation that's talked about, and sometimes there's like dark romances with emotionally abusive where it's more romanticized, and I don't get it as being part of having lived through that for almost 2 years, and how painful that was looking back. How until I was in therapy and out of the relationship that I realized, oh, I was being abused. Because obviously there's no marks, it's not physical, no one can tell you're being abused, and you're kind of brainwashed into thinking that this is how a relationship is and this is what love is. And so Neil, Alexa's ex, is very similar. I was a little triggered. I got a little emotional when I read this part when she was talking. She was telling her neighbor friend about Neil because she's like, her neighbor's like, oh, we'll get back together with him. I know he will. Just give him some time. He's a great guy. And Alexis like spills and like tells her why they broke up. And I'm just gonna read a little part. I might get emotional because it's just so triggering, and like this was so much my experience, and I thought it was written really well. It was good in the beginning. He was nice. We got serious, bought the house. He was kind of cranky sometimes, but it wasn't bad. Then he started making these little comments about how I looked. Then that used to fit better. Why do you look so tired? Joking that if he'd known how much I was going to let myself go once we were living together, he never would have moved in with me. It just kept getting worse. After a while, he wouldn't even talk to me in the morning until I had my face on. He was always in these bad moods. I never knew which Neil I was going to get. One day he was cooking me a nice dinner, my favorite bottle of wine, and the next he's mad at me for God knows what, and he won't even speak to me. It was like he liked me on eggshells. Like as long as I was running after him, begging him to tell me what was wrong, what I could do better, he was happy. I could never relax. I started getting depressed. I had anxiety all the time. I felt miserable, and I was totally trapped while at the same time feeling grateful that he was with me, because who else would want me? And she says it was like I'd been brainwashed into thinking it was normal. I'd almost died of relief when he had that affair, because now I didn't need an excuse to leave him. Neil cheated, so I left. He's the bad guy. I'm out. Cut and dry. And now he's playing the whole remorseful ex thing, and everyone feels sorry for him. Yes, like talking. Yeah, that was like kind of hard to read. Yeah, and she goes on to say like how no one would really believe her because everyone likes him. He's like a great guy, and they have a big friend group, and no one would think anything ill of him. And it's just her friends like, I believe you. Whew, yeah, that really, anyway, I think Abby Jimenez like really wrote that experience really well, just me coming from it, and it's still so fresh for Alexis too, that it's kind of like hitting me in the gut a little bit, because Daniel was like the complete opposite. Hitting a little close to home at that part. Yeah, that was years ago. I've had years of therapy and reflection, and yeah, my life got a lot better once I left. And yeah, don't ever let anyone treat you or make you feel less than. But I'm going to keep reading. Me and Luke are going to go see Love Lies Bleeding. Yee! I'm very excited. It's been a minute since we've gone to the movies. A little late afternoon movie, and then I'm going to come back, make dinner, and then keep reading. And oh yeah, the little goat, her name's Chloe, and she wears pajamas because she's still a baby. It's so sweet. All right, but that's the plan for tonight. I'll talk to y'all later. You guys, this was so good. This was so good. I got teary-eyed towards the end. I must be in my romance era. I'm like squatting because my tripod, I'm so tall. Even my tripod at like its highest height is still not tall enough. I'm 5'11", for those wondering. This was amazing. This is so good. I was so engaged the entire time. I cared so much about Alexis and Daniel. Bree even, like her family besides her brother can like off, like they're terrible. I believed so much of it. Like I believed that Daniel and Alexis were real tangible characters. Like they weren't Hallmark fluff. Like they both had dreams and desires and expectations on them and wishes, love for each other, and I just... This is so good. This is... Yeah, this is... Oh, I love this. I love this. I want to reread it like immediately. And man, this is boding well. This vlog is boding well. Or this is boding well for me reading more romance or more Abby Jimenez. Like I know yours truly, the follow-up to this follows Bree, who I really loved as a character. Yeah, I adored this. I full on adored this. I can totally see why so many people love it. It hit all the right notes for me, and it was sweet, it was charming. Their banter was so good. They're flirting. I was smiling so much. Ah, I loved it. I loved it. Next up is Tress of the Emerald Sea. And I'm really excited because I want to read a new fantasy. I want to read a fantasy and I want to read Brandon Sanderson. And it's funny because my spring TBR just posted this morning, but Minnesota's under like blizzard watch or extreme weather watch. I'll believe when I see it. We've had like the most tame, non-snowy winter since I've moved here, and it really, really bums me out because I love winter. I love snow. I don't love sub-zero temperatures, but I love being curled up at home, and the snow is always so pretty to me. So it's just been kind of lame, so I'm really excited because it's gonna be snowing so much. Hopefully. I won't be able to go anywhere, and I can just sit and just hopefully read this really quickly and have my undivided attention. I don't even know how long this book is. 360 some pages. I'm excited. I hope it's really good. I'll update you all when I'm farther along, but that's the plans for today. Moosey, do you have anything to say, Moosey? You're a good boy. You're so sweet. Do you want treats? Hi. It's been a few days. Not had a great week. Work hasn't been... You know, even when you like your job, there's still like some weeks that are just really tough. That's this week. It's been really tough. And I've not been sleeping well at all. Luke's been away, and like, so I'm in bed with like the dogs, and like they've just been keeping me awake. And don't one of you say, why don't you put your dogs out of the bedroom? It's like, no way. Absolutely not. No. That's never gonna happen. It's just, well, it's also not even really their fault. I just haven't been sleeping well. Mental health has not been mental healthing. Yeah, it's just been kind of a week. I've mainly just been rotting on the couch when I'm not working, or in like playing Bloodborne or farting around on my phone. I've been like so rotting, like corpse rotting the last few days. I'm like, I need to just go for a walk or something, or go outside. All that being said, I haven't done a ton of reading. I'm about almost exactly halfway through Tress of the Emerald Sea. I am really enjoying it, even though I've not been very much in a reading mood. I am very much enjoying it. It is very sweet. It is very swashbuckling. I love the world that I love the world Brandon Sanderson created. Planet, and there's giant moons that are like, I think there's 3 that are very close to the earth, and the sea is made of spores. There's all these different seas that have different kinds of spores, and if you ingest a spore, it like will kill you. It will kill you, but it'll kill you in a way where you like grow like vines in like a tree basically out of your body and out of your orifices. Horrible way to die. It's really brutal. I was not expecting that, like how horrible it is to die in this book. But that being said, there's so much humor. The dialogue between all the characters is so great. Tress is really great. I really like her as a character. I will say, I know she's supposed to be 18, 17 when the book starts. Sometimes, at least some instances in the book, like some of her dialogue, I feel like she's written really young. Like, she's like 14. But so that's like kind of throwing me a little bit. That's like my only complaint, is that she's reading really young in some instances. Other than that, I really like the story. I really like the world and the characters. I love Huck. Is it Huck the little rat? Yes, I love Huck. As much as I'm freaking terrified of mice. I mean, I can watch like some horrible stuff happen to humans in horror movies. Read about some horrible stuff. Like mice? Nope. I will shoot through the ceiling. I will scream. Rats? They don't bother me. I think they're cute. Huck is like so... I really like... He's a talking rat, so I'm like, yes. And yeah, it's just very cozy and wholesome. Even though they're mainly on this ship in this middle of like this ocean death trap. The chapters are really short, so you feel like you read it really fast. I just, like I said, I haven't been in a reading mood, but I do want to finish it because I'm a little behind on this vlog scheduling. That's okay. That's okay. But that's okay. Sometimes, you know, because I feel like if I'd been reading it in the moods that I'd been in this week, I would have not liked it. So I've kind of just been, I'm in a bad mood. I don't feel like reading, projecting my bad inner feelings onto this book. When it so does not deserve it. It is so great. So far, I can totally see why this was a favorite. And again, my first experience with Brandon Sanders's writing, like, I really like it. I didn't realize how much humor... Maybe it's just in this book. I could be wrong. Again, it's the only one I've read, but I do like the dialogue he has between all his characters. I feel like it flows really easily. Anyway, I'm gonna finish out this workday, and then by the next time I check in, I'll be done. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Hello, how are you all? I finished Tress of the Emerald Sea. What a delight! What a delightful little book. It took me a minute to get into the writing style and the narrator. I struggled a little bit throughout with Hoyd, the narrator. I thought, I don't know, I guess like the humor element was a little hit or miss for me. But the story I really, really loved. I loved seeing Tress's growth and development throughout the entire book, from this shy, meek-mannered girl, really, because I said that earlier, that I thought she was written kind of young in the beginning of the book and she's supposed to be 17, 18, to a pirate woman, swashbuckling, no-nonsense, confident, spore cowboy, spore cowgirl, pretty much. And I love that. I like the little intricacies with how the spores worked and how Tress figured out how to work with them. The found family aspect I really loved, with the crew and the ship and the adventure they went on. And it's not a long book at all. It's like 360 some pages. It's like there's so much heart and world building into it. And I loved it. I thought it was delightful. I can totally see why this is was on so many people's best of lists. I've said that like for every book I've read. I'm trusting some books. Nope, not gonna say it because I'm gonna jinx myself. Not gonna say it, don't want to jinx myself, but I really liked it a lot. I would give this a 4-star. This is a standalone, there's probably not gonna be another book. I would totally eat that up if there was another book involving Tress and more adventures in this world, on this planet. Like, I would totally read that again because I was just so enraptured by it. Next, I will be reading Happy Place by Emily Henry. I have not read Emily Henry. This was the highest rated. I think this was number 2 under Fourth Wing. And I'm gonna say Project Hail Mary for last because I also have the audiobook for that one, so I'm gonna do a tandem type of read. But I also got the copy I wanted. Thank you, eBay. Isn't that so much better? So much nicer. I'm glad I have the audiobook because this is a longer book. It's almost 500 pages. A little note about this guy. I started this last year and I DNF'd it. but I didn't make it that far in. I'm intrigued now that this was so many people's favorites. It's like, did I miss something? Did I just not get to the point where it got interesting? Because I just didn't really like the narrator, or the main character. I'm willing to give it another shot because I do love sci-fi. I love the premise of this so much, but I'm gonna save this for last. But I will start Happy Place today, and I will check in when I've made some progress. I'm on chapter 12. Can you see all these tabs already? I am shocked. Wow. I think I'm liking it. I'm getting like so emotional from it already. I think I did hear this was like not so happy place. Oof, it is like kicking me in the gut in a few places. Like I've obviously tabbed a bunch and it's oof. Yeah, it's safe to say I'm enjoying this one so far. I'll have more to say tomorrow because I'm probably gonna stay up reading this. Okay, I should probably talk about what this is about, right? Okay, so sorry I'm not better prepared. I've been enjoying this book too much. I'm sorry. Happy Place is about a group of 6 friends who have been friends since college. I think it's been about 10 years since college. And one of the friends, her family owns this lake house cottage in Maine that they've gone to for the past 10 summers. Main couple that's focused in this book is Harriet and Wynne. They broke up. They're broken up at the beginning of the book and they go on this trip. Harriet is not expecting to see Wynne there and expected that she's going to tell all of her friends together that they're no longer together and he wasn't supposed to come and he's there. It's turning into like a forced proximity type of deal, which I figured out I really like. So none of their friends know that they were engaged and they broke up. They've been broken up for 5 months. None of them know and they decide not to tell them and let this week be a great week together because this is the last summer they're going to be able to be at this family home because character Sabrina, her dad is selling it. This is truly their last weekend at their happy place. And they decide not to tell them and just let the week be the week. And there is a marriage involved. That is not a spoiler. It happens pretty early in the book. So they're just faking it in front of their group of friends. And it's really sad and it's told in dual timelines, like when they met to now, and it's kind of like leading up, I think, to the present, and just kind of diagramming out the height and I guess fall of their relationship. And I don't know if I'm ready because I like both of them so much already. I really like Wynne and Harriet, and I love this. I want to go to Maine now. I want to have lobster rolls, and I want a place like this. Like I think. Like my parents, it's not ours, we don't own it, but we go to the same beachfront cabins every year since my mom was pregnant with us, and that's my happy place. So I guess I do have a happy place like this, but I do want to go to Maine. I've never been, but I'm really liking it so far, and I'm going to go get ready for bed with the dogs and read more. And we'll chat back tomorrow probably. Hi, I finished this 5 minutes ago. I'm gonna cry. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm tearing up. This was so good. I'm shocked. I read this I started this yesterday. I stayed up super late last night. I got like over 200 pages in. I finished it this afternoon after work and I just loved it. I wasn't sure at first because the first like 50 pages, Harriet, the main character, described how Wynne smelled like 5 times, and it was like, and even throughout the book, it's about how he smells, and it's a lot about how Wynne smells. But if I ignore that part of it, this was just so lovely, and I loved their conversations. I loved the friend group. I love how they all interacted with each other. I loved the story. I loved the setting. It was just so sweet, and the conversations felt real and honest. Like, it felt like a fleshed out real friend group, and it just like, so many parts of it made me tear up and like hit me straight in the gut. And Happy Place, like, it's called Happy Place, but it's definitely like a very emotional, very sad in parts read. I mean, obviously I really liked it. Oh man. Yeah, wow, I'm in my romance era, I guess, like, because these are all just hitting me. I've turned into a softie in my 33 years. In my 33rd year, I've turned into such a softie because it's just, I loved it. Well, the police are coming to get me because I like romances now. Yeah, this was number 2 on that list. I can totally see why. As someone who's so new to reading romance, and doesn't normally read romance, like, this just felt so different. This and the Abby Jimenez novel, Part of Your World, that's how I want romances to be. That's how I think I want romances to play out. They feel like real people, and the third act conflict isn't cheesy, or if there's miscommunication, it feels like it's real miscommunication, not like something silly that's like, why is that even a fight? It had a different ending than I thought it was going to have, and I'm so relieved for it. Like, it made me so happy, and like, there's one of the chapters I just wrote crying. This has been such a fun experiment because I would never have picked this up, or if I had, it probably wouldn't have been anytime soon. Yes, but next, I'll probably start this tomorrow because I don't think my brain can tolerate such a big genre shift, but I will be reading Project Hail Mary as the last book in this vlog. Do tandem or immersion reading for this. That's a new term I heard, where you have the audiobook when you're reading. Yes. All right. Talk soon. Hello. I'm about to where I was when I DNF'd this book, which is chapter 10, and if you know, that is when something pretty significant happens in the plot. I am doing the audiobook and reading this at the same time. I will say the audiobook, in my opinion, is so much better than actually reading this. And I'm around the spot where I DNF'd, and I'm going to tell you why. But before I go into that, I'll tell you a little bit about what Project Hail Mary is about. So this follows an astronaut, Rylan Grace, who wakes up from a coma aboard this spaceship, and he has no idea why he's there. He doesn't know his name or why his other crew members are dead. As memories start flooding back in, he starts to remember why. Earth is basically in danger of entering a ice age because there's something happening where the sun is losing energy. You don't know why yet, because it's slowly unraveled throughout the last 10 chapters why he was chosen and how he ended up where he is. But there's still more to come out. So this is where I DNF'd it, and I'll tell you why. This is going to be the first time I have an unpopular opinion in this vlog because I've really liked the other books before this. Because the reason I DNF'd this was I couldn't stand the narrator. I couldn't stand Rylan Grace. I couldn't stand his joking humor throughout it. The stakes are incredibly high, and when he has these moments of his quips and humor, it just kind of takes me out of it, like the intensity of the situation. And it's a bummer because I love sci-fi. Adventure sci-fi, I like Earth at Stake sci-fi. I've always really enjoyed it. It's just not, this isn't entertaining. It is and it isn't. It's just, I get annoyed so easily. That's why, like, I think I just didn't care because I was like, I just can't listen to this fucking narrator anymore. I think, what did Katie say? Katie said something, it was like, I don't like when men think they're funny. Yeah. Because I feel like I would hate this guy in real life. Sans, like, the Earth ending, stuff like that. If I met this guy, I would like, God, you're so irritating. I will say this, science and math in this book it's pretty heavy-handed, but it's explained to you like you are in middle school, which I appreciate because I'm a dummy when it comes to that stuff. I don't know, but the tone of it in the narration just really bothers me, and I don't think Andy Weir is a very good writer. Even though what I just said, he makes it very easy to understand, I just don't think he's the best writer. I'm interested in the story and the plot, and I hate saying this because I'm probably in like the farthest form of popular opinion, but I just think this could be so much better written and so much more compelling. Maybe I'm 160 pages in, like, I want it to be more compelling, and you think something like this could be more compelling, and I just get irritated with it. I'm gonna keep going. I don't want to DNF this at all. Unless it gets like so painful I can't get through it, but I do want to give this the good old college try and finish it. But yeah, I'll probably update you all when I'm done with it because I don't know if I'm gonna have more to say like the other book. Yeah. Alright, I jinxed myself because I have to talk about this. I am on page 277, that's chapter 17. I'm liking it more now. I like it more now that we've gotten strictly out of Rylan's POV and a lot of his inner monologue, which is so annoying. other characters like Rocky. I love Rocky. If the whole book was Rocky, I'd be so happy. That's all I care about. I don't care about Ryland or humans. Yes, Luke, I said humans. Problem saying my HUs. Or just, it sounds more like you, like YOU, than Hugh. I'm like Stewie from Family Guy. Whatever. I'm liking it a lot more. Like, I like their banter. I like Ryland and Rocky's banter a lot and how they're communicating with each other. I think I'm the same level of intrigued on the plot because it just seems, for whatever reason, how it's written in his almost constant like comedic relief or jabs does make it seem like this situation isn't as dire. That's just how I'm reading it. Too goofy and annoying for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, and it's funny because around the time I DNF'd it was before more stuff happens in the plot. Almost done with it. I'm not going to stop now. Narrator of the audiobook is amazing. He's so good. I can totally see why more people recommend the audiobook version of Project Hail Mary because he's really entertaining. When he does Strat's voice, I do think it sounds a little bit like Edna Mole, and I can't unsee it. That's all I see. By the time I check in with you, I will definitely be finished. Hi there. I finished Project Hail Mary. I overall liked it. Still, it's not my favorite of the bunch at all. The saving grace, pun not intended, was Rocky. 1000% Rocky. The introduction of the character Rocky. I was about to DNF this book around the same time, same place. Rocky kept me going throughout the whole thing. I overall really enjoyed the story, but I have something... I might have something a little controversial to say. I think for me, this book would have been phenomenal if someone other than Andy Weir had written it. I just don't know if I like him as a writer. I really don't. I don't want there to be a lot of, for lack of a better term, dad jokes or like this guy who just cracks himself up the whole book. I don't know. I will say this. The audiobook, so good. He's made getting through this so much easier because I really like the narrator a lot. He was really great and how they presented Rocky and everything. I loved it. I love that part of it. So if you are interested or curious about this, I would recommend the audiobook. But that is the last book. If I had to rank all of them, spoiler alert, Project Mary is my least favorite. But I mean, these are all, I'll give Project Mary, it's not 4 stars. I'll give it like a 3.75, 3.5 to 3.75. And the rest are between 4 and 5 stars for me. I think my ranking is going to look like this. Part of Your World, Happy Place, Tress, Yellowface, and then Project Mary. Project Hail Mary. I overall think this was really fun. These are all new authors that I want to read more of their work. Not Andy Weir. The rest, can't wait to pick up more of their work. I know Abby Jimenez and Emily Henry have books coming out this month. I've already gotten Abby Jimenez's new book. Emily Henry's book comes out at the end of the month. Yeah, I have Mistborn to get to and Brandon Sanderson, and I have Babel and the Poppy Wars to get to with R. Kwong. So this is, yeah, I had a blast doing this. I will probably do something similar next year or try to compile my own list. If you made it this far, thanks so much for watching. Comment down below, were any of these books your favorites from last year or your least favorite? I would love to know your thoughts. And if you can't think of anything else to say, leave the star emoji. And while you're down there, just go ahead and hit subscribe. Support really means a lot to me. I love interacting with all of you and making these videos for fun. It's been a blast. And as always, thank you for clicking. Thank you for watching. And I'll have a new video for you soon. Bye!